Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go. Woo!
All right, he's our guy, Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. We will get some information, and we may do a little speculation on the Minnesota Vikings here on this Purple Daily episode. Kevin O'Connell and Carson Wentz speaking to the media. The injury report is even longer than it was a week ago, so a lot of things to dive into here newsworthy-wise. Shout out to Awaken 180, Dukes, for helping Doogie look a little thinner the last couple weeks.
Amen, Phil. Happy Reckless Speculation Thursday, Awaken 180. My end of summer gift. Not sure I was worthy of one, but here we are. Awaken 180, Awaken 180 weight loss. The website is awaken180weightloss.com. Down 12 pounds in just over 2 weeks. Wore a pair of pants the other day I haven't worn in forever. Up late last night watching that Lynx epic comeback, Game 2 in San Jose against Golden State. The Lynx moving on to the WNBA semifinals. Also needed my baseball fix late last night. Watched the Dodgers pound my National League club, the Phillies, although I'm on the Brewers bandwagon too. So I have 2 National League clubs. Hopefully that is okay. Awaken 180 weight loss. The beauty for me is, like, I'm a part-time Uber driver. I'm grateful I have 2 active kids, but I'm constantly on the run. Heck, the older one has some dance he's doing for homecoming. So he now has dance practice. And they do dance practice way too late at night. So I'm up late. I'm up early getting them up and ready for school. I feel pretty darn energized, even after 6.5 hours of sleep. The beauty of Awaken 180, Awaken 180 weight loss, is they send you 80% of the products you need. Love their vanilla protein shakes. Love their chocolate protein shakes. It's about making the right decisions. What to eat, when to eat, how to eat. I can still enjoy Chipotle. I can still enjoy Chick-fil-A. It's about making sensible decisions. Awaken 180 gets it. Their guidance counselors, their coaches keep you accountable, but they're fantastic. They know how to coach you up. It's nothing negative. There's no calorie counting. Exercise isn't mandatory. There's no medication. It's just flat out eating to lose weight, knowing what to eat, when to eat, how to eat. Awaken 180 weight loss. The website is awaken180weightloss.com. Again, awaken180weightloss.com.
So, Kevin O'Connell press conference Wednesday. Before we get into like the injury report stuff and who's in, who's maybe out, just general vibes. Dukes, Judd, and other players who maybe spoke. Just curious as to the vibes at the Vikings practice facility here after what happened in week 2.
Certainly, I think the vibes are okay, but definite frustration that they can't convert when it comes to KOC these second and shorts, these third and shorts, fourth and shorts. Phil, you probably have the specific numbers, but think about last Sunday night. How many second and short, third and short, fourth and shorts did they fail on?
Yeah, most
he
of
is
them.
Bugged. KOC is incredibly bugged that so far they have not run triple-digit plays. A lot of teams have had over 100 offensive snaps. The Vikings are still in 2 digits, not 3 digits. That bugs him a ton. Now, hey, if a 72-yard touchdown is there on Sunday against the Bengals, Carson Wentz to Jalen Naylor, yeah, you will dial up a shot or two. But the idea is to sustain some of these drives and some quick hitters to Justin Jefferson, a jet sweep. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be, no surprise, but a huge part of Sunday's game plan. But also Jordan Mason is as well. So that's the first thing. But then getting the vibe in the locker room, my colleague Chris Long was there, but listening to the conversations he was bouncing back and forth. So they had Carson Wentz plus Adam Thielen at the podium. So a lot of the media was at the podium in the indoor practice facility field. Well, locker room was open at the same time. So Chris bounced back and forth, had a few conversations in the locker room. Jonathan Grenard, team captain, some other guys. Vibes are okay, right? That there was an understanding that it's going to take some time, that the idea is, hey, November, December into January, that September, yeah, it matters. You don't want to dig a 1-3 type hole, but that hey, you can look at any number of teams going back any number of years. The Eagles last year, right, were 2-2. We can cite so many examples where, yes, right, we are going to analyze. We're going to overanalyze what takes place here in September, but ultimately things shift so much October on. The best coaches over time succeed early October through the rest of the season, that there's an understanding, an internal understanding that they have what they need in place, especially the guys that they're going to get back, especially by, like, I think about that first game against Detroit, week 9. Now, hey, other injuries can happen between now and week 9, but like all these guys, for the most part, all these guys, maybe Ty Chandler aside, but all these guys should be back by week 9.
I would say this from being at the O'Connell press conference on Wednesday. I would say there is a definite sense of urgency, though. And you can tell he's a bit thrown off because they have as you talked about at the top of the show, Phil, the injury report's so huge. But there is a definite, and rightfully so, there should be, a sense of urgency that you've got 3 more games, including 2 in Europe that are neutral site games, before you start a gauntlet of 4. And so, yeah, I wouldn't say there's panic. I would say that there has been a lot of focus, though, on making sure these next 3 games go well, because if they don't, quite frankly, it might look, and this might not be right, but it might look like your season is done. So they definitely are not taking for granted the fact that these next 3 games, you know, if it's Carson Wentz who starts, if it's Max Brosmer who comes in, no matter who plays quarterback, these next 3 games are incredibly important because coming out of the bye, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly. Now, hey, even the pre-Joe Burrow injury, you know, you take the temperature of some folks over there, they really, really liked the start of this schedule, that there was this opportunity to have a winning record, perhaps even at this point 4-1, not 5-0, but they really liked the schedule heading into the bye, the success they've had in years previous overseas, getting Chicago early in the season, the success the last couple of years against Atlanta, then feeding into the normalcy of a noon game type schedule at home this week. So Sunday Night Football, a little atypical schedule-wise. Okay, home all week, heading into week 3 against Cincinnati. I actually still am in that boat. Call me nuts, call me way too optimistic. I like their chances to be 4-1. Now, hey, that gauntlet after, they might go 0-4, right? I mean, to me, Philly is that good. The LA Chargers on a short week, you have to travel Thursday Night Football in LA. Best of luck in that game. Then Baltimore and Detroit, I get it. That could be an 0-4 stretch, but I'm just saying heading into the week 6 bye, I like their chances to be 4-1.
Yeah. There seems to be some Carson Wentz optimism floating around the building, right? Just kind of feels like low-key, well, not even low-key. Kevin O'Connell went on Vikings Entertainment Network and KFXN Radio last week or earlier this week and talked about, hey, that Thursday practice that J.J. McCarthy missed. So I'm just, as the week has progressed here, is there kind of a quiet or maybe even not so quiet confidence that Carson Wentz might unlock this thing and the offense might start moving the ball and they might run more than 42 plays?
Well, I take the over on 42 plays, but there's also a reason why he's on his 6th team in the last 6 years. That this is NFL history, starting for a 6th team over the last 6 years. But like, keep in mind, the Vikings tried to sign him well before August 24th, like weeks prior, right? So the seed was planted. Carson knew maybe even to up his workouts. Okay, waiting. Would there be an obvious quarterback injury where I can slide in, be a clear-cut number 1? Okay, that didn't come to fruition. Yeah, Minnesota registered interest weeks prior to August 24th. Okay, team I grew up rooting for in Bismarck. Let's do that. Let's head to Minnesota. So Carson, my understanding is in pretty darn good shape. And I'll tell you this, KOC is really darn good to me at reining guys in. Right? Did it with Sam Darnold. We can cite any number of examples, but, you know, Carson will take some chances, right? Like, and he'll make some boneheaded plays. We can think about the left-handed throw, any number of plays that stick out in your mind. I think KOC can get those under control. And I think it's going to be a pretty simplified game plan. We touched on that on Tuesday where, okay, if Carson had to enter the Atlanta game, KOC was saying on Monday the full menu of plays would have been available. But you're going to scale things back pretty considerably on Sunday. I'm telling you, quick hitters to Jefferson, getting Justin involved early, a good dose of Jordan Mason. So, yeah, I think they'll run over 42 plays, Phil. Absolutely. Now, do I think Carson Wentz is throwing for 330 plus 4 touchdowns? I don't know if I'd go that far, but I still think it's a favorable matchup. I do. And, yeah, I'd like to think Christian Darasaw is back to battle Trey Hendrickson, that it's not Walter Rouse plus help battling Trey Hendrickson. But overall, I like this Vikings offensive matchup against the Bengals defense.
You bring up a good point, though. I'm probably as concerned about the offensive line going into this game as I am the quarterback position, because Ryan Kelly, 4th concussion documented, which probably means he unfortunately has had more. Ryan Kelly did not practice on Wednesday. I'm going to assume that with his concussion history, he's not going to play, which means Michael Juergens plays, which is a big ask. Darasaw went through the full practice on Wednesday, but we now know not to take that for granted. Like, he's done this, and then he'll be, if the history of how they've done this year is he'll be limited today, he'll be full on Friday, but that's not a full practice. So the left tackle and the center, and I don't think you can underestimate the importance of the center here, because Wentz is a veteran. He probably can make some of the line calls, but he's not Mr. Experienced with KOC, right? So it's not like he is going to step in and he's been running this offense for 5 years and Michael Juergens, just snap me the ball. The offensive line, to me, is one of the most important things here. If Darasaw comes back, as Phil has been saying all week, it's absolutely huge. If Darasaw doesn't come back and Juergens plays center, I think that's even more reason to probably simplify the game plan. And if you can get the ball quickly to guys like 18, you should get the ball quickly to a guy like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, imagine if it is Walter Rouse at left tackle. With all due respect to Walter, like, you would have to have Josh Oliver over there a ton, right? So then what does that do, for Juergens having to have any number of one-on-one blocking opportunities? I do wonder, Brian O'Neill, I get it, he's way out there on the right, but, in terms of communication, how helpful can he be? I'd like to think it's been trending in the right direction on Darasaw, but I can't remind the audience enough, and I can't fault the Vikings for this, but the Vikings are pretty darn conservative on the injury front. Now, hey, to me, like, if you knew Darasaw wasn't going to be back until perhaps week 4, then you put him on the PUP list, right? You free up a roster spot. So I'd like to think Darasaw's out there. I suppose today is the telltale sign, right? If it's a full go today, not limited, that would be a sign that he'll play on Sunday. But yeah, Darasaw, to me, he was pushing to play week 1, right? So it was the Vikings protecting Darasaw from himself. I can't knock the Vikings for that. I'm just saying Darasaw's been in a position to go out there and play. But yeah, Juergens, I get it. Because, there's no way, right, at this point Ryan Kelly is playing with that concussion history. There's no way Ryan Kelly is playing on Sunday. Yeah,
let's go back to Darasaw for 1 second. If you guys go back and watch, so I think it was Ben Gessling asked about Darasaw's progress yesterday. Go back and listen to KO. I can no longer decide who is doing what. Half of that, there's a quote, a part of the quote, guys and Phil, that is very directly saying, like, he's got a major involvement in this, that, he's been, so I don't know. And look, if it's Darasaw, it's his career. So I'm not criticizing him one bit. But what I'm saying is I came away from that press conference much less sure of who is calling the shots. I'm not saying they're calling the wrong shot. I'm just saying I don't know that we can blame the team as much as I thought before yesterday.
Well, I'm not even blaming the team per se.
Putting it on them, not blame. Blame's wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just based on my senses, and hey, let me make this very clear. There hasn't been a setback. There was no setback along the way. There wasn't on Darasaw. I don't know. More often than not, the player, he's been compensated. He got the big contract. The player, more often than not, knowing how competitive Darasaw is, I have a hard time believing that in the end, it was the Vikings training staff saying, hey, Christian, yeah, you can play against Atlanta. And it was ultimately Christian saying, nope, not ready, not doing it. And I get it, Christian in constant dialogue with his representation, Drew Rosenhaus and the Rosenhaus family, but I have a hard time believing that. I've not heard that. But yeah, I mean, I heard that soundbite. So yeah, it made me think. But yeah, I'm not so sure on that. I still defer to the Vikings on these injuries.
I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry based on the state of the offensive line the first 2 weeks. And I can tell you, having watched Alex Boone break down that film of the sacks and the pressures on the trenches episode,
the best.
The offense of the 6 sacks that JJ McCarthy took, 4 for sure and maybe 5 were like no chance for any quarterback to do anything. Just like drop back, just a blitz or a twist not picked up, mis-ID'd, just maybe a physical whiff on an assignment. And so I think having watched that, if Darasaw doesn't play in week 3, I think it's a Christian Darasaw decision. I don't see how the team would be like, just to be safe, I think you got this far. He's been a full participant in a bunch of practices. He was full team drills in training camp. And again, it's like the word fault is probably wrong because this is a guy's career. He's looking to play another 8 years in the NFL, and if he's not 100% sure, then like week 3 versus week 4 doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of a full career. But in the moment when you're a fan or you're a coach on that staff, it's like he fixes a lot of problems, and everything else kind of clicks into place. So if he plays, I pick the Vikings to win. If he doesn't, boy, this is not going to be the get-right game that a lot of people maybe hope it is.
All right, well, let's believe then that he plays. He told me in the locker room last week, kept referring to the team's plan, their plan. I get it, right? We can talk about a third contract. Yeah, the idea of playing at least 8 more years. But man, I know he was itching to get out there, even at Soldier Field. And so, boy, I have a hard time believing.
Yeah.
I get it. We can have a healthy back and forth here, right? Because I don't know if we'll ever get the 100% definitive answer, but I just have a hard time believing this is ultimately him, that the Vikings said, hey, Christian, you can play. And it's Christian saying, nope, I'm not going out there.
Well, if Christian doesn't play in the game, he can play the Minnesota Vikings scratch game ticket, Judd. He can occupy himself for a few hours this weekend.
That's a fantastic idea because guess what? With the Vikings scratch game, this could be Christian Darasaw's year or season or just his day, which at this point in time for him would probably be good news because each time that you play, you have a chance at $100,000 plus great second chance prizes like cash and, get this, Viking season tickets. So just say I'm in and play the new Viking scratch game. Must be 18 or older to play with our friends, of course, from the Minnesota Lottery.
Also, why don't you tell the audience about one of your favorite events coming to town here shortly, Judd?
As far as I'm concerned, the best annual sports tournament that exists, that is the World Junior Hockey Championships, which will be in town for the first time since 1982. This is a place where everyone you see basically is going to end up in the National Hockey League at some point. December 26th through January 5th, both at Grand Casino Arena and 3M at Mariucci as well. The World Junior Hockey Championships, fantastic. There are special packages available for all 4 of the U.S. preliminary round games. All of those will be played in St. Paul at Grand Casino Arena. So check out the ticket situation at worldjuniorsmn26.com, worldjuniorsmn26.com.
Are the Vikings screwed before this game even starts? Because according to Judd's research, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo have called 6 Vikings games on CBS, and the Vikings are 0-6 when those guys come to town. And I think in 2 of those games, it was such a blowout that they were apologizing for even existing and flipped to a different featured game for the national audience. Are they screwed, Doogie, before the game even starts?
Oh, no. And does that mean that my aunt, Tracy Wolfson, is on the sidelines?
She is indeed. I don't lump her in as a co-conspirator here, but she definitely has been part of the Nance Romo Vikings
Hey,
jinx.
she's closest. She's on the field. She might be able to, actually influence the play on the field. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
you don't
going
be
on.
tarnishing that Wolfson name, Judd. So thank you for that. Yeah, was it a Cowboys Vikings game in recent time?
Yeah.
Yes.
40-3
Pollard
loss.
had about 9 touchdowns.
And then the 41-17 loss 6 weeks after that to the Packers at Lambeau. And here's the incredible thing. So to go back to Jim Nance's career, okay? So with Phil Simms, the last time Jim Nance worked a Vikings victory, September 29th of 2013 in London against the Steelers.
Wow. It's been a minute.
So it's been longer for Jim Nance. So there is a Jim Nance Hello Friends jinx.
Yeah.
God, I love sports, Dad. To do that sort of research, Judd, you are the man.
No,
How did you like figure out who was broadcasting each game going back to 2013? Does it say in like
TV
the
notes.
game logs?
No, in fairness, the notes, I went back on Google and I researched Nance and Romo, and I found that the last time that these guys worked a Vikings game, so the Vikings had 4 games on CBS last season. None of them got Nance and Romo. The last time that these two worked a game was at US Bank Stadium, the loss in 2023 to Kansas City. And going into that game, a bunch of people had picked up on the jinx. So I found that, and so the Vikings were 0-3 with Nance and Romo under Zimmer.
Wow.
Starting with a 2017 loss to Carolina, which came in a year in which they went 13-3, okay? And then the aforementioned 2 defeats that we just talked about in 2024 were in a season again 2022, were in a season again where the Vikings won, 12 or 13 games. So these guys not only hijack the Vikings' success, they do it in seasons where things are going well.
Wow. It's amazing.
Who has the Super Bowl in February?
Who does have the Super Bowl this year? Hold on a second.
ABC next year. I know that.
It's
Yeah,
Super
we
Bowl
do have
60,
it coming
right?
up, but I don't
It's
think
Super Bowl
26.
60, isn't it? NBC.
Okay.
Streamed live also on Peacock.
All right, we're okay then. So we're still
Tarico
waiting
and
for
Collinsworth.
CBS. Did
Well-
CBS have last year? So maybe it's 4 more years until another CBS Jim Nance Super Bowl?
No, I think it was Fox last year, right? With
Oh, maybe it was
Brady
Fox,
and Burkhardt.
Yeah.
All right, so
But
maybe we're 3 years away. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Can't wait
All
till
right, well,
Netflix gets a Super Bowl.
The jinx
Free trial.
ends on Sunday. Right?
Oh,
This is
okay.
not a 3:25 start time. It's a comfortable noon start time. Jinx ends. Hopefully Darasaw does play. Harrison Smith. Maybe not 65 snaps, but trending in the right direction. Andrew Van Ginkel, had the no contact jersey on Wednesday, but trending in the right direction. Jeff Okudah certainly trending in the right direction. So getting some of these guys back, don't get me wrong, they're going to miss Blake Cashman. They will miss Aaron Jones Sr. Heck, they'll even miss Ty Chandler maybe on a kickoff or two. Or, in some sort of offensive capacity. Heck, he played a lot the last time they played the Bengals in 23. But getting enough of these guys back, I feel pretty good about Sunday.
Yeah, I think, man, I'm looking more at this injury report, and I think it's it's kind of crazy, man. Like, just for we've been kind of talking around it, but just for the audience, so you can get a full scope of this. Here are the DNPs. Wednesday practice did not participate. Ryan Kelly, J.J. McCarthy, Justin School. McCarthy's already been ruled out. Ryan Kelly, almost certainly out. Justin School, so your second string left tackle coming back from a concussion, not practicing on Wednesday for a backup left tackle. Concussion means almost certainly out this weekend. So Walter Rouse or Christian Darasaw are your left tackle. Then you've got the limiteds. Jonathan Grenard, oblique.
He's okay. He's fine. He'll be all right.
Okay. Donovan Jackson, wrist. That's problematic. Theo Jackson.
Yes, although
hip.
I foresee him playing. Yeah.
Okay. Austin Keys, young player with a groin. Josh Oliver, ankle. Harrison
He was
Smith
on there
again.
last week. Yeah.
Harrison Smith for the third straight week. We'll see if he plays. He's limited. Andrew Van Ginkel, concussion, limited. So taking a step. He's moving forward.
But he did have that red no contact jersey on, so that is noteworthy.
And then Darasaw full, but he's been full the last 2 Wednesdays, full participant.
Yeah, so today is the key day on Darasaw. Is he full or is he limited? If he's limited, we start to wonder about Sunday. If he's a full go today, points to probably good news on Sunday. Judd, you would probably know this if you know all that TV detail. Like last year, Phil, you'd probably know this too. How much injury fortune/luck did the Vikings have on their side? Right? That obviously was a part.
Early in the season, it was pretty good.
14 games, right? I mean, they had a good amount of injury fortune and luck last year.
The two that really concern me from the list that Phil just went through are Grenard, not because he's not going to play, but obliques are easy to restrain.
Sure.
So an oblique, I mean, think about how much that dude twists and turns and does different things to contort his body to get sacks. That concerns me. And Donovan Jackson with a wrist concerns me more because there's a very good chance that to Donovan Jackson's right is going to be Juergens, and to his left might be Rouse. So I don't need him play. Like, that's already, for a rookie, I guarantee you his grade from game 1 to game 2 got dragged down in a major way because of the situation. Like, for a rookie guard to take that on and become the best player there. So those two have me on high alert as far as what they mean.
That's fine. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't have any concerns about them starting the game. Yeah, maybe more so the oblique, the way you laid it out with Grenard. But
right. Yeah, they'll
Grenard's
start.
Fine. I mean, he spoke with us yesterday. He's okay, getting all the treatment he needs to get. What about Josh Oliver with an ankle, right? I mean, Josh Oliver's going to be on the field, 30, 40 snaps? I mean, if they're running way above 42 plays, he's going to play 65, 70%, right? I mean, ankle, that's an easy one to re-aggravate. So I might add Oliver. Now, he was on the injury report last week. He was fine. But yeah, I mean, it's troublesome. Let's not forget that Jalen Naylor isn't listed, but I don't know, is his left hand fully healed? Like, he's been really good through 2 weeks, but like, I don't know if I can sit here today and tell you his left hand is feeling right now like it felt on August 12th, pre-injury in the joint practices against the Patriots, right? So, I mean, we can cite some other guys. I know this much, Jordan Addison back against Pittsburgh in week 4, so I'll certainly take that. Things will change dramatically when Addison comes back.
Yeah. Amen. All right, Dukes, we know you got to run A-job stuff, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
I'll tell you what, Judd, your guy, Zeev Bouillon, I was at the Wild golf event on Monday in Lake Elmo. The muscle ad is legit. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it should be.
Zeev Bouillon is a man.
It's go time.
He's
going to log ice time,
he's a man.
It's go time.
Power play, baby. Yeah, I'm in hockey mode.
All right, Dukes.
All right, boys. See you at US Bank Stadium on Sunday. See ya.
Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. A little information, some speculation about the Minnesota Vikings. We'll see you for the Thursday episode, also on the Purple Daily feeds and Purple Access today. All sorts of Vikings content on Purple Daily.